All right, so my name is Mia.
And my name is Pranav.
And we are from an organization called Community Living Toronto, and we help support people who have disabilities. And one of the things that we do is we go out into schools all across Toronto with our game called Spinclusion. And Spinclusion is a game that is going to get you thinking about celebrating differences and including everyone. Okay, so Spinclusion, 2 words. Spin, everybody knows what that means, right? Yes? Okay. And then the word inclusion. Hands up if you know what the word inclusion means. Yeah? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, some maybes, 8, 9. Okay, good. Okay, oh, and the teacher, 10. Very good. Okay, who can tell me what inclusion means? Who can give me a definition? What does inclusion mean to you? Yeah?
It's like when everything and everyone, it's not like one person or one thing's left out.
Okay, so nobody's left out. Okay, excellent. Any other ideas? No? Okay, so this is our definition of inclusion. Jenna's going to turn it over for us. Okay, can everybody see that? Yeah? Okay. So this is what inclusion means to us. So who would like to read the first definition? Yes?
All people are actively participating.
Excellent. So all people are actively participating. So if you're doing an activity or you're playing some sort of a game, anybody who wants to join in is allowed to. Right? We're not saying to people, oh, you can't join us, you're not my friend. Anybody who wants to join in is included. Okay, second definition. Who'd like to read that? Volunteers? Yes, thank you.
Everyone is valued for their contribution or how they participate.
Excellent. So everyone is valued for their contribution or how they participate. So we don't all contribute or participate in things in the same way, right? Some of us are good at some things and some of us are good at other things. But no matter what we do contribute, that will be valued. And our last one, who'd like to read that?
Everyone is welcomed and respected.
Excellent. And the key word there is that everyone is welcomed and respected. Not just some people, not just our friends, but everyone. Okay, great. So in our game we have 3 challenges. And this is really what we'd like you to be thinking about as we play Spinclusion. And I've left a copy of the challenges with your teacher so that even after we're gone, you can still be thinking about these things that we're going to talk about today. Okay, who'd like to read the first challenge? Yes? Would you like to read the first challenge?
To think positively rather than negatively about differences.
Excellent. So to think positively rather than negatively about differences. So what are some of the things that make us different? What makes us different?
Our hair,
Yep, so our hair color or our cut. Yep,
our ethnicity,
our ethnicity, so our culture, right? The country that we were born in, a language that we speak, our religion. What else?
Personality.
Definitely, right? It's our personality that makes us so different from each other. What else? What else makes us different? Yeah,
The clothes that we wear.
yeah. So the choices that we make and how we present ourselves, our clothes. How, yes? Opinions, yeah, that's a good one. How about the things that we're good at? Does that make us different? Are we all good at the same things? No. Okay, what were you going to say?
race,
Race, yeah, that makes us different. Okay, what about the people that are in our family? Does that make us different? Right, some of us have more brothers and sisters, some of us have no brothers and sisters. Right, a mom, a dad, 2 moms, 2 dads, grandparents. Right, that all makes us different. What would the world be like if we were all the same? So boring, right? Imagine if we all looked the same, dressed the same, sounded the same, were good at the same things, knew the same things. We'd never learn anything new, right? We would all know everything already. Okay, so we want to think positively rather than negatively about differences. Okay, second challenge. Who would like to read that? How about somebody from this team? Any volunteers? Thank you.
To focus on people's abilities, not their disabilities or inabilities.
Excellent. So that is a long way of saying to focus on the things that people can do and not worry so much about the things that people can do. So to focus on people's abilities, not their disabilities or inabilities. And the last one, how about somebody from the team in the back? Any volunteers? Yeah?
To consider how people feel rather than what they look like.
Excellent. So to consider how people feel rather than what they look like. So we want to know what is going on the inside with a person instead of focusing on all those outside things. And we want to think about people's feelings as well, right? So before we say something or before we do something, we should think to ourselves, how will that affect the person if I say that or if I do that? Okay, so moving on to our definitions. So have a number of different definitions here that we're going to review. So how many have heard the term intellectual disability? Hands up if you've heard that before. 1, 2, 3, 4, plus the teacher. Okay, good. So a person who has an intellectual disability may learn new skills at a rate that is different from someone who does not have an intellectual disability. And it's lifelong. So a person who has an intellectual disability always has it, and a lot of people are born with it. And it can affect a person's social, okay, so the way that they interact with people, emotional, the way they react to things and situations, and daily living skills. An example of that is Down syndrome, okay? And another example is autism. How many people have heard of autism? Excellent. So those are both examples of an intellectual disability. Learning disability, a person learns and understands instructions in different ways from someone who doesn't have a learning disability. And so the way a teacher teaches needs to be changed to accommodate the way that person learns. And an example of that is dyslexia. How many have heard that word? Okay, excellent. So who can tell me what dyslexia looks like? Yeah.
Like when someone's reading, like the words can be rearranged to like not, they wouldn't be able to like read properly.
Okay,
Or-
so if you were reading the word cat and you have dyslexia, what might the word cat look like?
TCA.
Yeah, TCA or TAC, or maybe the letters are all jumbled or they're floating on the page. So if that's the way that you see words, the way that you learn and the way that you need to be taught will be different from somebody who doesn't see or read like that. Okay, physical disability. This may affect a person's ability to walk, talk, hear, or see. The person may have had the disability from the time that they were born, or it's something that can happen as a result of an accident or a medical condition. Okay? And some physical disabilities are invisible, where when you meet somebody, you might not know that they have one of these disabilities. Can you think of one?
Being deaf.
Being deaf. So when you first meet someone, you might not know that they're deaf or hard of hearing. What about visually impaired? Is it possible that somebody could be visually impaired and you not know it? Yeah? Okay. Good. So we don't want to assume, right? Okay, brain injury. A person's brain functions are damaged by trauma. So for example, your memory being affected by a car accident. So what's that called if you lose your memory as a result of some sort of an accident? What's that called? Amnesia.
Oh, yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
amnesia is a kind of brain injury. And the last one is epilepsy. How many have heard that term? Okay, great. Okay, so epilepsy is a seizure disorder that's often controlled by medication. Has anybody ever seen a seizure or can describe what a seizure looks like to me? Yeah, in the back there.
The person loses control of their body.
Can't hear you.
The person loses control of their body temporarily.
Okay, so they lose control of their body. Maybe they start shaking, right? Maybe they fall to the ground. That would be a big seizure. Or there's tiny little seizures as well, where somebody might be talking to you, and they stop talking for a few seconds, and maybe they had a tiny little seizure in that time, and you wouldn't even know it. So there's all different kinds of seizures, okay? All right, and the last thing is our ground rules. So every game has rules, and these are ours. So our first rule is no put-downs, be respectful. Probably the most important rule of all. So if somebody's answering, we're listening. Even if we don't agree with what they're saying, we're still respectful. Okay?
And one person speaks at a time,
Okay.
and every team takes a turn.
Okay, and then you can answer as a team or individually. We're going to talk more about that in a minute.
And there are no wrong answers. if the challenges are being followed.
So remember those 3 challenges that we talked about. You want to keep those challenges in mind as we play. And our last rule is that a penalty can be given to a team if the ground rules are broken. So in this game, you're going to be earning points in your teams. But if you keep breaking our rules, we can take 50 points away from your team. So I know I'm seeing looks of shock. So we don't want to have to do that. Does everybody understand the rules?
Yep.
Okay. Does everybody understand the definitions?
Yep.
Okay. So we're going to take the definitions down. We're going to do something with these in a minute.